See, we become really good at that. The balance. Because today I want to give you ownership of your balance, your definition of balance. What does balance look like for you? Because, see, for a long time, we've been talking about balance from the standpoint of a weighing scale. Are you a piece of fruit? Any fruit in here? No oranges. Okay. Are you a box filled with products? No? Okay. Are you more than your body weight? Okay. So why is it when we talk about balance, we talk about finding equal weight in life, in work, in activities, when they're totally different things? Period. When the true definition, when it equates to medical purposes and people, is guess what? An aesthetically pleasing integration of elements achieving balance. Elements. It's not one thing or the other. It's for you to decide what elements you're going to integrate in your life to achieve balance. But the biggest piece that I want to give you ownership of, a means of judging or deciding the balance of, somebody say that last little piece right there. I get to choose for myself? Y'all mean to tell me if I'm really going to achieve balance, I get to choose? That's a lie. I want to give you back your ownership of choice in the life that you're creating, period. But you have to own it in order to show up and say, these are the things that I have elected to have in my life. This is the amount of time, energy, and effort I choose to give it. You have to do that in order to achieve balance. But now the key to this thing is balance, mental and emotional steadiness. How many of you can say that you are mentally and okay, don't, because I don't. Do we have an EMT on site? Okay? Any psychologists in the room, workforce psychologists that can get on the phone and call the people with the straitjacket in the truck? Okay? Administrative assistants are so serious. That's me. I got you. I got the number on speed dial. Mental and emotional steadiness. This is what we are seeking to achieve in our everyday life. Right now, more than ever, we've seen an increase in suicide, right? We've seen an increase in mental health issues. Why? Because we're stretched thin. And we wait till that very last moment to say something, and a lot of times it's too late. You have to take ownership, self-care first and foremost, so that everything that you produce from who you are is A1. Everything in your life, everything in your career, everything that you encounter is simply reflecting you. And it's either challenging you to look at who you are, or it's celebrating where you've come and saying, you did that, you got it, you got it. If you begin to look at life in that way, even as you approach tasks at work, and that boss that you can't stand when he talk, his voice just annoy you, his sneeze gets under your skin, start to look at it. What is it about him that I cannot stand? Maybe there's something in me that's like that I need to work on. And how can I influence him? Because one of the things that you guys don't understand, I worked in an environment that had about 50 admins on staff. And so in order to train them, I had to watch them. I spent weeks and months, and over the year that I was there, I watched how they engaged. Y'all are freaking superhuman computers, okay, with feelings and emotions. Y'all act like nothing phases y'all, and y'all just keep on ticking. Boom, 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 knocking it out. But you know what I noticed? Y'all can orchestrate a people, get folks to sit down, shut up, and move accordingly without blinking. You know what they call that in leadership? Influence. You guys have more power than you even know. You know what else I noticed? That the leaders were coming to you guys, asking you for your input for work they were going to go take credit on. A lot of stuff they didn't even know without y'all. And I'm sitting here thinking, do they really know who they are and the power that they have? And more importantly than that, do they understand the impact that they are capable of? Y'all already have it. You just have to recognize it. Period. What I saw during that time blew my mind. But you know what else I saw? A whole bunch of unfulfilled admins because they weren't getting the credit. They didn't feel like they were being listened to. Everybody was dumping everything on them because they were superhuman computers. And and for me, at that point, I had to say to myself, Keisha, you cannot go into another training program for admins and issue them some cookie cutter stuff when what they really have need of, y'all have learned how to prioritize. Y'all have learned how to check the task off. Y'all have learned how to orchestrate. But y'all haven't learned how to take care of yourself. And you haven't learned how to say no. Because you were built as a CS personality, you were built to serve. But what you have to do is find the balance in the serving and the helping. Because some people just plain out using y'all. Because you won't say no. It's real. I watched it for a year and it broke my heart because I watched some powerful people, men and women alike, in support roles, not understanding that support don't mean you get to be walked over. Because guess what? If you go and punch on the balance beam that's supporting everything, it's going to fall apart. So with all of that being said, today, we're going to talk about time wasting. We're going to talk about how you use all of these things that you've already learned. And we're going to talk about ultimately the barriers that are hindering you from being productive and achieving balance. So I want you to turn to page 6. And at your table, I want you to check off all the time-wasting issues that you're facing right now. And I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do that. And please feel free to talk amongst yourself if you get confused, not really sure. You want to just have that common bonding over a time-wasting activity. See, okay, so I was waiting. Listen, see, I knew I like you. I met her last night out in the foyer. Listen, one of the things that you're going to have to stop doing, Keisha is who Keisha is, period. Right? I don't weigh myself. I show up this way at work. I show up this way at home. My husband, the same way they know me at work, my husband know me at the house that way. My daughter is the monster that she is because I'm at the house like this. Listen, this is what we doing. Keisha is who she is, period. When I leave a company, they still talking about me. Because Keisha, if you meet my friends, they say the same things that they say about me at work. Keisha is who she is unapologetically, and I make no excuses about it. So, time is time. Listen, time is time. And so I'm going to move forward while you're doing that, and then we're going to have a conversation about that, because I want to make a couple of points about time. Just that. Time is time is time. And one of the things that we have to become better about is to reverence our time. But you cannot reverence time if you do not reverence life. You cannot reverence time if you do not reverence your assignment in this life. You will quit wasting time when you truly understand what it is that you are purposed and assigned to do. I wake up every day with this anxiousness because I have all these things that I want to produce in this world. Mainly because in the last 3 years, I've lost 3 family members, 3 uncles and aunts. In the last 5, I won't even give you that number. And I'm not even talking about just uncles and aunts. Right now, I have a mother-in-law. Talk about balance. Talk about productivity. I have a mother-in-law that's dealing with breast cancer. I have a really good friend who was diagnosed with brain cancer. All of these things are happening while Keisha still has to be on the road. So when I touch down, I got to run to the hospital to see you. I got to run to rehab over here to see you. I got to be at your house to see you because that's my responsibility. So I have to manage my time wisely because if at work they understand that you're going to kill it, when you have to leave at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday, they're not in their feelings about it because they know you kill it. Hear what I'm saying to you? Did that make sense? See, a lot of times you procrastinate and you waste time and their expectation is you're going to get it at the last minute anyway. So now they're mad when you leave early because all you do is sit around talking all day. Just being real about it. But when you value your time because it's short, it's too much stuff to get done, you'll quit wasting it. There's work to do. You'll quit wasting it. And I'm not even talking about all serious because I know how to have fun. I know how to have fun. Granted, my fun may not be your fun. For me, fun is being in the mountains, right? I need to make time for that. So I don't waste time because I need that hour at least once a week to go hiking and be by myself. I need that self-care. Quit wasting time on the other stuff so that way you can get what you need to get done. With that, let me hear some of the time wasters. What did you pick? Oh, how many of you put striving for perfection? God. Somebody want to share why do you think that's a struggle? Anybody? I won't point you out. Anybody want to? It's a real thing. She said it's more so the quality of work that she produces and trying to stick to that standard of quality. And she said on top of that, she's finding that a lot of people get frustrated with her because of her high standard and what she's trying to get done or produced. How many of you feel that way? Let's deal with that for a little bit. What if I told you that there's a difference between perfection and excellence? And what if you understood that difference, you could be more productive because you would get into the habit of producing in excellence versus procrastinating in perfection? Does that make sense? What if I also told you that even on your bad day, when you showed up at 60%, that was still 100% for people who just basic, for real basic. And I'm telling you this because about 4 years ago, this guy that I used to know, he shows up in my office one day and I'm working late. Everybody else is gone from the office. And he leans in my doorway. What are you doing? I'm at work, dude. I'm working. He says, Keisha, you're going to hurt yourself. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, listen, Keisha, don't be offended. All they want is 50%. Because the stuff you be bringing in there is actually stressing people out. They just trying to do the job. Give them 50% so they can do the job. And because you can't do nothing less, you just have to keep the rest for yourself. When I got that and I understood that, my standard is excellence. I don't know anything else. So for me to dumb it down for you, that's painful. So I had to be okay with my standard, understanding that it ain't everybody else's standard, and I do not have the right to check you when you don't reach it. I don't have that right. And especially when my CEO or the manager that I reported to said, these are the expectation. Yeah, okay, you want to put hearts on the top. You want to add 14 different aspects or options. You want to do, that's on you. Right? If you want to achieve productivity and balance, you're going to have to get to the point to where you get clear on the expectations and deliver in accordance to the expectations. Because guess what? I had to realize my paycheck didn't change because I was a boss. And I'm making my coworkers upset with me because now I'm showing up and they trying to figure out why you trying to make us do that when all they said was this. And I'm sorry, but most people, they just want to do their job and go home. You have to be okay with that if you want to achieve productivity and balance, because a lot of times perfection is keeping you at work till midnight. And then when you get done with the project, how many of you have gotten done with something and look at it and think, man, that's it? Because you've processed and overthought it and processed and reprocessed and overthought it, redid it again 42 times later. We have to stop punishing ourselves like that. And guess what? It's a function of fear. You're doing it because you don't want judgment or rejection of anything that you produce or put on the table. But what if, because you believed in it and you gave it excellence, what if that was enough? Some of us don't have the option to be basic. And I find that with a lot of admins, because you're wired to get stuff done and to get it done right. You're wired to get stuff done and to get it done at the highest standard. But what if you can give other people the grace because that's not how they were wired? So with that being said, in addition to that, anybody else got another one that they want to add? Ooh, how many of you are facing those distractions? What are some of your distractions? Okay. Wait. Wait a minute. Everybody got in on that one. Okay. Somebody, you ma'am. Is she your distraction? Why is she? Oh, is she your BFF? So y'all be like, y'all got those looks when it gets real messy at work. Yeah. Y'all be texting each other. I am. Girl, did you see? I get it. Yes, ma'am. So then you get stuck helping people. You get stuck in conversations, being at front and center. I get it. Anybody else? Instant from leadership or friends or. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll address that. Anybody else? Not period. All of these sound like. So, what if again, I told you you have the opportunity to set boundaries in which you will utilize technology? It's not going to be easy on the front end because you got to keep in mind, you already set an expectation that you're going to respond immediately, that you're going to be available, that you're going to. So you're going to have to retrain people that you've already trained. Now, how do you do that? When an IM pops up, if I set the standard that I respond best to email because I have a checklist system, I'm not responding to IM. Period. You can put emergency on the email, and I will check that accordingly. And I only check email at XYZ times. And those who you are responsible to, your leadership, they understand that if your IM pops up, I will respond to your IM. But all this extra stuff, I'm just not going to do. You talk about friends in the workplace, same, different. We have to understand that, girl, I really like you and you cool and all, but I have to get this project done. I'll see you at 12 o'clock. Boundaries. Just like when you go on vacation, go on vacation. Because guess what? If they didn't know you need it, they wouldn't have allocated 2 weeks in the year for it. Period. They know you need it, so why is it so hard for you to accept it and to go on vacation? Now you're getting a ping, ping, ping. You on the beach in your swimsuit trying to handle a business deal. And it's not easy because I have been guilty of it to where now another thing that I've done is I've given my husband and my daughter accountability. And I said, listen, when y'all see me do it, call me on it. You have to give the people around you an okay to check you when you are out of order. Because we are not good at self-checking ourselves. We just aren't. But you have to take ownership of the boundaries and understand that people are going to be upset with you on the front end. They are. But at the same time, it's going to be good for everybody, because if I develop angst for my position, I'm going to be no good to the organization. If I feel like that I don't have a life outside of here, I'm going to become angry with you and everybody in this organization, and I will cease to serve you at maximum capacity. So helping people to understand that, listen, this is what I need to be good. Distractions are always going to be there. Especially, I've always had a front office, because my personality dictates everybody coming to see me, let's just throw her in the front, so that way we don't have to hear the noise by our office. I'm just being real. I've always had a front office. Even when I had a back office, they would move me and switch somebody and put me in the front. Especially if you are a high I. Any of you I personalities or SIC have a glimpse of I in there? But one of the things I've realized about administrative professionals is that they know how to engage people. They know how to have conversations. So you have to self-check. You have to say, you know what, Steve? You know, I'm loving this conversation, but I got a deadline. Or I'm getting ready to get on a call. Or I can't right now because I'm working on this project. You have to take ownership of the productivity and balance that you desire. Period. Is there any other one that you would like for me to address that I haven't addressed so that we can? Yes, ma'am. Say that again? No, ma'am. No. Attending unnecessary and unproductive meetings. How many of y'all deal with that on a regular? For some reason, with all the technology that we have available, people believe that we are more productive when we meet every single day, 42 times a day, and it's become a thing. My daughter always says, Mom, another meeting. She'll text me, Mom, I'm going into another meeting. Mom, now we're Zooming. Mom, now technology has made it worse. And the only way you can do that is to be the one to hold people to the agenda. One of the things that I did when I was in corporate America, I refused to go to meetings that didn't have an agenda. Period. And they can't get mad that you are really serious about productivity. Hey, I want to make sure that we're prepared, and I want everybody to be prepared before we show up. Can we reschedule this when we have an agenda? If you won't make one, I'll throw one together. Then I give them one with 2 bullet points on it. Nobody added anything to the agenda. This is what we're discussing. We're going to stick to the agenda because we have so many things to get done. Period. Again, somebody has to be the bad guy. How many of you are willing to be the bad guy if it means that in the end you'll get to be the good guy? It'll be uncomfortable in the process, but in the end, now it doesn't mean that you get to go up in there flipping over a table. What is this? Who called this stupid meeting? No. Do not say, well, at APC, they told us no. My biggest motto is lead with love and grace and a smile on your face. You can tell somebody they stupid, ridiculous, and ugly. And if you do it with the right smile, they'll be like, you serious? Okay. So you have to do it with grace and love, and you have to and honestly, at the end of the day, most people just want a reason why. If you tell people why you won't do something or why you would give them the why, most people will be okay with it and keep putting it back on the organization's goals. See, a lot of times you got to learn how to speak people's language so you can use it against them. I'm telling you, companies that I work for that's always touting vision and culture, the culture of this organization is to be highly productive. So I really feel like we need to make sure we have agendas at every meeting, and we need to stick to the allocated time. Use the stuff against them. If this is who we gonna be, let's be it. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it's not bad. It's just that somebody has to be the one holding everybody accountable. If you don't, it's going to seep into your own life. So if it's at the stake of me getting to have some personal time, I'm okay with that.